Hello, hello. Welcome to Meditation Nerd. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. All right, so I am just finishing adding all my stuff here, getting myself together. Oh, I probably should put that in my notes. Okay, well, I went a couple minutes early. The 2 to 3 windows working pretty well so far. Hopefully, it still works in March. And then, of course, if there's a time that you think would work for you, let me know if there's a time frame I can see. I'm going to test out different times for a couple months and see what works, what doesn't, kind of adapt from there. So for today, I am listening to the mantra Adi Shakti, or not. Hold on. It was just playing. Okay, there it goes. Um, Adi Shakti, it is in the description. It's by Rayo. I think that's how you say it. I just found these artists, and I really love their version of the Adi Shakti mantra. So I'm going to be listening to this throughout our live session today. I feel like it's really helping me kind of get into the spaces that we're going to be connecting with in this live session, or audio if you're video if you're watching later. Okay, forget it. Okay, the point here being that if you would like to listen to it throughout, please feel free to go ahead and pull it up now. Um, Now, there are a couple ways you can play with it. You can give it a listen right now, make sure that you enjoy the music, that you also enjoy the artists, and then you can either listen to it while we're in the part of the live where we're going to get into the space in between the two polarities that we're going to be looking at today. You can just listen to it at the end. You can always adapt, right? Just wanted to reiterate that. Adapt it for whatever you're feeling. I'm feeling that I need to listen to this mantra today, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Um, what else? What else? Okay, that was it. I just wanted to lead with the mantra, give you a chance to pull it up, give it a little bit of a listen. So, this actually came about. I was having a conversation recently about aging, and there the conversation felt like it was just a filter where what I was trying to convey, that wasn't the response that was given. And it made me kind of look at both sides. Am I saying this the way that I'm trying to express it? Am I verbalizing it the way I want to? As well as, are they hearing what I'm saying? Right. So it kind of brought up this feeling of being in a filter, or speaking to a filter, or maybe being wrapped in cotton, that type of thing, where it there was definitely like this dissonance that was interesting. So I wanted to sink into these feelings a little bit deeper. And the responses just felt like they were canned responses, right? It's just an automatic thing that you say. We all have them for different reasons. This is not shade. This isn't about blame. It's got nothing to do with that. I just like that it kind of highlighted, what is this, right? And it seems to be happening more and more frequently on both ends. So I want to explore that today. And none of this was unkind. It wasn't, it wasn't even about that. It was about the feeling of speaking to a filter, and just how I felt like I was both speaking to a filter and speaking through a filter. It was a very odd, very odd sensation. So that's what brought this up. Okay, so for this, oh, let's go ahead and set the, okay, I'm being asked to just, since I'm listening to mantras, to tune in with a normal traditional Kundalini yoga tune in. So if you'd like to tune in with a traditional Kundalini yoga, go ahead and rub your palms together. You can always set the boundaries with just your breath. However you need to adapt it. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center for anyone that is joining me. Inhale, exhale. And then we'll tune in with the Adi mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, repeated 3 times. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply, hold the breath, pull the root lock. And exhale. Okay, go ahead and shake out your hands. I used to feel so embarrassed about being tone deaf, and now it's really hard not to smile when some of the peaks are, it's just like, ooh, that was, that, I felt that one in my chest. Okay, so for this first section, we're going to start facing outward. Okay, so I want you to bring to mind a conversation that you've had or a moment, right? Maybe it's something completely different from a conversation. It's a setting where you felt unheard. And this isn't about the story, okay? I want you, if you need to pull up the story first to connect, that's perfectly fine. I just don't want you to focus on the story. So once you have the moment, I want you to really notice the felt sense that came up. And then if you can, of course, please again, honor your boundaries, right? Notice where that lives in the body. And then something that I noticed, maybe others are noticing it too. When I noticed that it felt like I was speaking to a filter, I felt like this distancing between myself and the person that I was talking to. And there wasn't actual physical distance that was happening. It just felt like this chasm was opening between us. It was a very interesting sensation. So that can also be a part of it. The bodily sensations can translate outward, right? It can feel like the environment around us is also shifting and changing. So if you're able, and if that's something that you notice happen for you as well, do take that into account because that is a part of the way that we connect to the world around us, right? And if it's not part of your experience, that's perfectly fine as well. And then for your particular situation, I want you to notice what the filter meant for you, right? So the overall sensations happen. So is yours directly connected to the filter? Maybe it was stay positive. It'll be okay. It'll all work out. Whatever the filter was that we all have a default setting for, right? Is that sensation directly connected to that filter that you heard, or was it kind of just the feeling started and then there was a filter, if that makes sense? Let me know if that doesn't make sense. I guess another way to frame that is, did the awareness kick off with the words that were spoken, or was there already a sensation coming up to anticipate the words that were coming? I hope that is a little bit clearer. And we're just going to take a couple more breaths here. I just want us to have a chance to connect to being within. the felt experience of speaking to filters. One more breath, inhale, exhale. Okay, for this next part, we're gonna flip outward, or we're gonna flip inward, excuse me. So now I want you to think about a time where you were the filter, where you gave that rot, how's your day? Good, you just kept going, right? We all have them. It's not, again, for both points of reference here, we all are operating on automated responses in certain settings, right? You're in the middle of something, someone asks you something, you give what you feel is the appropriate, like, you see what I'm saying? This isn't necessarily malicious and it has nothing to do with any of that. That's not why I bring this up. I just found the sensation very interesting and odd. So I want you to think about a time when you gave a rot answer. Hey, so and so, how's your day? It's good. You just keep going. How's yours? It's good. Great. You know what I mean? You're acknowledging each other's existence, and that's kind of the best thing you can do in that moment, right? Or maybe it was something more personal where someone is trying to have a deeper conversation and you're just not present for whatever reason, right? And then just again, notice how that shows up in the body. And same thing here. Is this kicking off with the words, the filters as words themselves, or is this, you know what I mean, is your filter coming up as a way to either head off the deeper conversation or the small talk, you know what I mean? And again, please don't beat yourself up. That's not what this exercise is about. It's just to notice how it shows up in our body. And don't beat the other person up for the first part. I don't think I said that. I mean, just in case. Couple more breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Okay, I'm going to leave the fan on. It's getting a little bit warm in here. Okay. Now, this part is more stemming from Byron Katie's The Work, where questioning our thoughts is the point. We do turnarounds, and it's not to believe any one thought. It's simply to acknowledge that there is more than one perspective going on here, and the thoughts are just thoughts. So that's what this is stemming from. So this next part, we're going to sit in between the two spaces, okay? That may be challenging, it may be easy, just depending on where you're at, right? So we're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. If you're listening to the mantra, just let that kind of help you ground and clear out between the two polarities of speaking to the filter and becoming the filter. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, so now I want you to bring to mind the sensation of feeling comfortable in your skin. Okay, not a story. I want you to try to start with the sensation first. That can feel like anything. It's a little bit of ease in your hip, it's a little bit of space in your shoulder, it's your head feels light but not disconnected. Maybe your feet feel nice and cool. You know what I mean? This can be any kind of sensation that brings you a sense of peace and ease and connection to your own skin, right? And then wherever that is, we're just going to sit with it for a moment, that ease and that comfort, right? That what is the word I'm groping for here? Confidence in our skin isn't quite right. We'll go with that for now. Hopefully the word will come. And we're spending a little bit of time here to connect to this space because this is the middle ground. This is where that it's the universal consciousness is what I think of it. It simply is, right? It's the neutral mind. It's that balance point between the two. And bringing that frame of reference is we need both the positive and the negative mind, right? Because we need to be able to see the positive, we also need to be able to see the negative. Both are vital for survival. The neutral mind is what is acting as the grounding force between the two to sort through all the information, right? So that's kind of how I think of this space. Because it could also be Bodhi. Anyway, so we're going to stay in this space for a little bit longer. Please honor your boundaries. If you can't do that, please go ahead and get up, walk around. If you need to leave, please honor that. Remember, this is your practice and you should adapt it to you, okay, what your boundaries are. Okay, a little bit of a twist here, mostly to challenge myself. So feel free to follow along with me here or just say, no, I'm not doing that. That's fine too. So this little part, I want you to now you can visualize the two different points. Okay, the conversation you had where you felt like you were speaking to a filter, and the situation where you became the filter. Okay, I want you to stay from this neutral place and just observe the two. Okay, and this is an exercise in being able to see both without assigning anybody anything, right? You're just simply observing these two situations that happened. Yeah, I'm struggling with this. I got a whole lot of shame coming up, guilt, anger. Okay, I'm going to stick with this for a couple more breaths here. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Okay. So those are the different aspects of this I wanted to play with. I'm always looking for different ways to challenge the work and see where it can be applied, where it can't be, just like any other part of my meditative practice. So I wanted to bring this part, the essence of what Byron Katie talks about with the work of questioning your thoughts, give it a little bit of twist to challenge myself and see if I can hold the two together without giving either any type of, I don't know, substance, just seeing that this is what happened, right? So this was mostly just a space to connect to these different perspectives that we both had conversations where we felt like we were speaking to a filter and we became that filter, right? And I think it's important for us to remember that we're all doing the best that we can. And given the world that we live in, if it can feel challenging to not just give, raw answers, either offering them or receiving them. So I felt it was important to connect to both aspects of this, that it's not just other and it's not just I, that this is happening to. It's kind of a universal experience, right? And I don't my goal here wasn't to bring answers. It wasn't. It was simply to engage with that odd sensation of speaking to a filter, not feeling seen, not feeling heard. And while the responses were appropriate to the conversation, it felt disconnected somehow. And then feeling like I was a filter by just going, well, yeah, okay, sure. It felt very like rehearsed isn't right. Already lived. I don't really know how to describe the quality of the sensations that were happening. I don't really have the vocabulary for that. It was just very odd. So I wanted to share this as a meditative space because again, I found it incredibly intriguing that it was both speaking to and becoming. It was very odd. So, and just as a space to remind myself also that again, question the thoughts because that's where all of it's going to generate. That's where the suffering is going to generate because I'm labeling this, that, and the other. And honestly, how's that going to help me? So, thank you for being on both sides. Feel free to let me know if you relate to this, if you've ever, if there's other sensations that you think would be a fun live that you'd like to see explored. Um, there's something else that I was going to say, and now I don't remember what it was. I guess that's not. Okay, well, I guess it's not needed because it's not coming back. Oh, it was. So with this practice of connecting to that center of consciousness, the neutral mind, however you want to look at that space where you feel at ease, right? A good way to start is to breathe into it, allow it to expand a little bit. Again, based on your boundaries, based on what you are okay with moving forward with, right? You can do it with colors, you can expand it. You can try moving it to different parts of your body and see if that will work, kind of expand it there, that type of thing. So let me know if you do play around with it. Let me know what success you've had, what you find challenging, that type of thing. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me on both sides. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you next time.